Good morning, you guys. Welcome to the Coffee Run Live, episode 265. Excited to host you on this fabulous Monday. Welcome to another Monday. Now, we are going to just ignore my crazy scientist hair. I've just done a hair treatment and it is so freaking soft and ridiculous, and there are bits going everywhere, and it's quite frankly driving me completely batshit fucking crazy. But we're not going to talk about that. What I want to talk about with you today is about the 20% that is actually missing, and which is the key and the secret and the whatever it is to you getting what it is that you want. So I played all of the roller derby on Saturday, not all of it, but one game, certainly on the weekend. And I came away, it's driving me nuts, came away from it feeling like I really kind of deconstruct stuff. And I know that you guys probably do this with your marketing campaigns, with your own Facebook live streams, with your own analysis of what did or didn't work, and particularly when you're not getting the result that you want, it's really easy to go back and pull stuff apart and look at going, okay, well, like, why did that not work? What was I not doing? How did I fuck up? Like, if it's not completely obvious. And so one of the things that I spent some time doing in the very short six-hour drive or whatever it was home yesterday, that was kind of like going through and replaying my part in the game. Now, it was a great game. I loved being part of the team. It was really awesome. But as I was counting up that end, I guess like I was also deconstructing my part in the whole thing. And I think what's interesting is that when we're doing this with our own businesses, is that we will often tell ourselves things, right? Bullshit things. A lot of the time. Like, oh, I did everything that I could. Bullshit. Or I put all of my energy into this. Bullshit. Or I couldn't possibly have made another offer to one other person. Bullshit. Or I didn't have the energy. Bullshit. I didn't have the time. Bullshit. I didn't have the people around me. Bullshit. I didn't have the support. Bullshit. I don't have enough people. Bullshit. You know, there is a whole lot of bullshit that we tell ourselves around different things. So I guess, like, to give you this example, so I was journaling this morning and it came up in my journaling because I was thinking about the weekend, and it's so inspiring seeing all of these amazing people, and I completely lied to myself. I was like, oh no, Nicola, you tried as hard as you could. Well, actually, no, I fucking didn't. I did not try as hard as I could. I did not get out on that track and leave it all on the field. And you know what? That makes me really cross and grumpy with myself. It actually, if I was my teammate, I'd be really pissed off, because like I think about like if everybody is going out and giving 80% rather than finding that other bit, then you know we're not doing our best. Like we're actually not doing our best. So I guess like the way that I think about it for business is like, you know, have you actually really gone all out? Have you exhausted every opportunity? Now, I'm not saying that I want you to milk out every single minute of every single day and work incessantly for, 25 hours a day, 8 days a week. Like that is the fast track to burnout. Being there, it's not pretty. It's actually fucking destructive. And it fractures and ripples. Hey, Geordie, fractures and ripples out into every area of your life and in your world. It ripples into your health, obviously, into your children, into your partnerships, into your friendships, into your social life, into your mindset. It ripples into everything. Burnout's a really big problem. So I'm not saying that I want you to try and find extra minutes and extra hours and extra days in your week in order for you to be able to really go full out. But what I can absolutely fucking guarantee you this week is that you can find another 20%. You can absolutely find another 20%. I was at the gym this morning and we're doing our weights, and I've sort of plateaued a little bit in one of the tracks with how heavy I put the weights. And I was just like, going through, and I still like sort of fatigued towards the end. And you know what it's like when you hear, okay, it's your last set, dig deep, and automatically you find this extra push of energy. You find this extra bounce. You find this extra kick because it's okay. It's coming to an end. Like I can really give it more. I can actually give it more. And you find that reserve tank. This 20% that you're not accessing is like the reserve tank that's needed for you to access that kind of like vroom. You know, for those of you who are familiar with car racing, you've got the NOS, like the nitrous oxide tank, and the car goes, and then is like in racing, and they want that extra kick, like they hit that button and then, you know, off the vehicle goes. Right now, it's not a sustainable thing to be able to operate at 120% all the time. But where can you, in your life, in your world, in your marketing, in your health, in your exercising, in your workout, with your nutrition, with your mindset, how can you find that extra 20% to give more? How can you be more effective? How can you be more assertive? How can you be stronger? How can you be faster? How can you be more agile? How can you execute harder, faster, quicker? How can you push more? How can you and do all of these other things? And how are you actually lying to yourself? Like, how much bullshit are you telling yourself about, oh, well, you know what, I was really tired. Oh, you know, blah, blah, blah. You know, yesterday or Saturday we played, and I fell down, hurt my wrist, and which is fine. It's a bit bruised. I thought it was broken, but it's not broken. And I sat out, like I took my wrist guards off for a minute, actually probably like 2 minutes, put my wrist guard back on, strapped it all back up, and it's like, nah, you know, it's fine. It'll be okay. I've got to get back out there and do the thing. And, you know, it took me about half of the game. So it's half-hour halves. It took me about half of the game to kind of get out of my own way, for me to get my head right. And then I went and hurt my wrist. And then from there, it's like, well, you know what? If it's fucking broken, it's fucking broken. I'm just going to get back out there and do what I need to do. Get out and do your job. So in your business, in your life, in your marketing, particularly in your social media posts, what do you need to do in order to do your job? How can you access that extra 20%, that extra 20% of energy, that extra 20% of motivation, that extra 20% of inspiration? Because that is the difference between you being exceptional, you being fucking great, you being the leader, you being the market leader, you being the person, you being the inspirer, compared to being good or okay or, you know, whatever. Like, if you really want to aim for good and like for good, then that's fine. But if you want great, if you want exceptional, if you want fucking amazing, then you've got to find that extra 20%. So that is my little rant today. It is designed to be a kick in the ass, and for you to get past the own bullshit that you're probably telling yourself around, oh, I couldn't possibly put up another post because people might get pissed off. Well, you know, who cares if they are? It doesn't matter. Are you going to let them dictate the terms to your business? Are you going to let them dictate how strong you get? Are you going to let them dictate how many offers you put out? Or are you going to do the thing that you feel like you need to do in order to get out there and reach the people? You know, we get too caught up in, oh, I don't want to do this because I don't want to piss this person off. Well, fuck that. Sorry. No, it's crap, you guys. You know, we don't want to listen to the people who are trying to keep us small, right? We don't want to listen to the people who are trying, it's not an act, they're not actively trying, right? But they're kind of like, no, don't put any more posts up. I'm like, why are you always selling all the time? Well, like, we're selling all the time because I have a mission to fucking help you. And if that's like 20%, then go and do that. All right? You're welcome, Catherine. Geordie, you are very welcome, even with the Einstein hair. It's just, you know, it's really interesting. And I think the more you access this 20%, you find that extra kind of like kick, you find that extra push of energy, that, you know, 2,934th wind. It's kind of like you go, oh, that's it. Like in the squat track that we were doing today, I was just like, oh, I've just found all of this extra power in my legs. And then you're able to kind of like activate, a mentor of mine talks about activating superhuman mode, superhuman. And that's almost what it feels like. It's like, oh, that's where that is. And then bang, like you've got it. You can always find that extra bit within the parameters of not working 150 hours a day, 25 days a week. All right. So go get me some. Let me know how you go. Find that extra 20%. And remember, the world is ready for your brand of awesomeness, and you dictate the motherfucking terms. I'll talk to you tomorrow.